Today we're going to play Cribbage. Here's the deal with Cribbage, or Cribbage. It's like making that friend who was a pain in the butt to figure out, but ultimately became one of your favorite people. Cribbage is great, but you won't know until you've played it many, many times. So let's get to it, and let me know how many games it took to get you hooked. The object of Cribbage is easy. Be the first person to score 121 points. Easy time is over now. And that's because there are several scoring rounds within a round. Each round has these phases: the showdown, the hand reveal, and the dealer's cut. And here's how that looks. Get 6 cards, remove 2. Set the badge, play the round, and score as you go. After the round concludes, take your discarded cards and score again using the badge as your 5th card in combo making. Finally, the dealer takes the 4 discarded crib cards from the beginning, looks for scoring combos while also using the badge as their 5th card. There's no way you got all of that, but by the end of this, you'll get it. I believe in you. Let's break it down. Cribbage can be played with 3 or 4 people, but in my opinion, it's best with 2 people. Setup. You'll need a 52 card French suited deck and a cribbage board. Here's mine. Next, cut the deck for dealer. Whoever has the low card shuffles the deck and deals out 6 cards to each player. And they get the first crib. More on that in a bit. First, players look at their hand of 6 cards. We'll go over which ones are better to hold later in the video. Keep the 4 you want to play with and take 2 away, or in cribbage speech, lay away the cards. Your 2 laid away cards, plus the 2 your opponent lay away, are placed face down in a pile called the crib, which will come into play later for that round's dealer. Now the draw pile is cut in half with the top card of the lower half flipped over and placed on top, like this. This card now works as our points tally card. It's called the starter card, but from this day forward, I name it the badge. So you get a crib and a badge in the game. Crib, badge. It just makes way more sense. At this point, nothing else happens with the starter card, our badge, unless it's a jack. If so, the dealer gets 2 points and immediately advances their peg 2 spaces. No other points are scored yet. Before we go any further, let's talk about moving our pegged spaces and the values of the cards. Card values are not the same thing. Card values do not translate directly into the amount of spaces that you can advance on the crib badge board. The card values are used to get those spaces though. For example, if you get a sum of 31 card values, that gives you 2 peg spaces. Simply move one of your 2 pegs forward 2 spaces. The other one stays back to remind you of how far you've come since you've last scored, for whatever reason. Cribbage boards come in all shapes and sizes. Some take you all the way to 121 points, and others, like mine, are for a quicker 61-point game. Or just take 2 laps to get to 121 points. Oh yeah, by the way, if you are a quality custom board maker, why not reach out and send me some custom boards that I can promote here on the channel? I think this is where your potential clients are, so showcase your art with me. Back to gameplay. With their 4 cards, players play a kind of card chicken to get their face-up card value sum to equal 15 or finally 31 points, or be close enough so their opponent can't get any more cards down without going over 31 points. Again, the magic numbers are 15 and 31. If you hit 15 or 31, you can move your peg 2 spaces. And how do you get points in card values? Well, the card values are as follows. The 10s and face cards are worth 10. Pip cards are all worth their shown numbers, and the aces are low, valued as 1. Turn action. The non-dealer starts by playing 1 and only 1 card face up. The dealer then takes their turn, placing only 1 card face up, and then it goes back to the next player. This goes back and forth until the numbers reach 31, or a player can't play any of their cards without going over 31, or if a player runs out of cards. Note that you don't play to the same discard pile. Rather, each player has their own, because we'll reuse our discarded cards at the end of the round. After each run to 31 is complete, turn your discarded cards over and set them aside for the end. The next run to 31 will begin with the player who lost the last trick, or the player who still has cards in their hand. If 15 is reached by, say, the first player playing a 7 and then I play an 8, well, since I played the card which got the sum to 15, 7 plus 8, then I immediately move my peg up 2 spaces on the crib badge board, like this. The round continues until the sum either equals 31 points or neither player can play a card without going over 31. Let's see what that looks like. We have 15 showing on the table and it's my opponent's turn. They play a 5, which brings the sum up to 20. I then play a face card which is worth 10 points. Now my opponent can only play if they have an ace because any other card would make the sum greater than 31. And look, they did have the ace. They immediately earn 2 spaces on the crib badge board for hitting 31. The round is not over though, as we still have face down cards. The loser of that hand starts the next one. We don't clear our face-up cards. Rather, we set our own aside. There's a whole other score stage after this, and prepare yourself, it's special. Since my opponent went last, I begin the next run to 31. I play this 10 card. They play their last card a 3. I play my last card a 7. That brings our total to 20. However, since my opponent is out of cards, they must say go, meaning they can't make a play. If your opponent says go, you continue to play cards until you hit 31, run out of cards, or can't play without going over 31. The last player to play a card in that hand gets 1 peg point, unless they end with a shown value of 15 or 31, in which they get 2 peg points. There are a few other ways to score during play: heels or his heels. If a jack is turned up as the starter card or badge card, then just the dealer gets 2 points right away. If the same valued card is played back to back, whoever played the last card gets 2 points. If the next card is also the same value, 6 points are awarded. Should fortune favor you and you play the 4th matching card, you score 12 points. These must not be interrupted by other cards or it doesn't count. No sandwiches. Numerical runs of 3 or more cards also score points. For example, we have a 3, 4, and 5 showing. That's a numerical run of 3 or more cards. And the player who played the 3rd card gets a point for each card in the run, or 3 points. The run can keep going with 1 additional point for each new card. The 4th card would get 4 points. They don't have to be played in exact numerical order, but if a card out of that order or an existing value is played, the run stops. After all players have played out their hands, 1 additional point is given to the player who played the final card. And now the showdown phase is over. The round's second phase of scoring happens during the hand reveal, which is a post-play scoring. Here's what happens. Each player scores their own hand using the badge to form combinations. The non-dealer scores first, followed by the dealer. Here are the possible scoring events: pairs, runs, and 15s. Same as during the play phase, but now calculated across the player's hand and the badge. Flush. If you have 4 cards of the same suit in your hand, you get 4 points. If the badge card matches the suit, it's 5 points. But if any of the cards in your hand do not match that suit, it's not a flush. Knobs. A jack in hand matching the badge card suit, 1 point. In the hand reveal, you can reuse the same card in multiple ways to score more points. A single card might help make several 15s, be a part of both a pair and a run, thus working in different combinations at once. The badge acts as a shared 5th card, which makes even more combos possible. Always look for ways to stack points using the same cards in different scoring sets. This is the key to scoring big in Cribbage. Scoring can get messy. To keep scoring clear in Cribbage, announce each combo as you count. Point to the cards you're using and go in order. 15s first, then pairs, runs, flushes, and knobs. Before moving your peg, double check your total and give your opponent a chance to verify so there's no confusion. In a round, there's one more scoring event, but this just goes to the dealer. This is the dealer's cut, or crib scoring. This is where the dealer reaps their reward, or suffers the sting of a poor crib. Here's what happens. After the dealer scores their in-hand cards with the badge, they now take the 4 cards from the crib pile, plus the badge card. Using the same scoring rules as the hand reveal, they score additional points if they can. Just remember that the crib belongs exclusively to the dealer. The scoring is the same as the hand reveal scoring. So in a summary, there are 3 or 2.5 scoring possibilities during a round. The showdown, play your cards and score quick points in the heat of the action. The hand reveal, tally your hand using the badge and rack up points with your combos. And the dealer's cut. The crib's final reveal determines whether the dealer gets a sweet payoff or a dud hand. Rounds continue until a player reaches or exceeds 121 points. The game immediately ends and they win, even if it happens mid-turn or during pegging. And you don't have to land exactly on 121. Skunking in Cribbage happens when a player wins by 31 or more points. Some house rules count skunks as 2 wins. Tips. When deciding what to keep and what to lay away in Cribbage, focus on maximizing points in your hand while minimizing potential points in your opponent's crib. Keep cards that form strong combinations like pairs, runs, or cards totaling 15, such as a 5 with a 10 or face card. Low cards, aces, 2s, and 3s, offer flexibility in play, while the high cards are great for scoring 15s. When you're the dealer, lay away complementary cards, like a 5 and 10, or suited cards to boost your crib's potential. Non-dealers should avoid discarding 5s, runs, or cards that could easily form 15s, or pairs with the badge card. Think ahead and adjust based on your opponent's discards to optimize your strategy. As good as my explanation has been, please grade me in the comments, this classic game can be rather difficult to learn, and it's best played with someone who knows the rules. That said, the replay value is very high with Cribbage. It's also a great way of keeping young and old brains active. The adding of sums, recognizing scoring patterns, definitely keeps you on your toes. The game can be portable, making it fun for vacations, or you can make it a centerpiece in your gaming table with a board as excellent as the one I dream of. Collect your crib and badge and start playing today. Did I get something wrong, or do you play it differently, or just want to say hi? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share to help this channel grow. Also support this channel with a digital donation. You are great. See you next time on Playin.Games.